My name is Mark Hobbs. I'm Managing Director of Hobbs Brothers Limited. I'm quite fortunate in fourth generation. We're in our new premises in Spinnaker Road, Hampstead, Gloucester. The relationship between Hobbs Brothers and Randall and Payne go back many, many years. As I say, I'm fourth generation, but when the company needed an accountant, Randall and Payne were there for us many, many years ago. And today they are with us. They've seen us through this project and helping us with running our company in a more efficient way.
The start of the project goes back several years. We knew that we had to look at the project as a whole. Initially, we were tasked to help find a site, understand what the cost of developing that site might be, and then consider the financing implications attached to it. From a funding perspective, the biggest issue we initially faced was that we were right at the peak of the credit crunch when we were looking to finance the project. In addition to that, development funding was very, very thin on the ground at the time. We knew that it was going to be a very specialist site, obviously, so that in itself attached difficulties in order to satisfy lenders' requirements to make sure that their risk was mitigated. From a timing perspective, the biggest issue we faced was the expiry of the lease at the end of October 2013. Initially, we thought that was definitely a final date. As it turned out, we were able to arrange a short-term rolling lease on the site in order to allow the development. From an affordability angle, the biggest issue that a company faces in this sector is the oil market tends to be very volatile.
One year to the next, the gross margins that the business may achieve can fluctuate quite wildly. That makes it difficult to project exactly how well the business is going to perform from one year to the next. That raises uncertainty for funders, and what we needed to do was to sit down with the business, with the funders, and model how the business was likely to perform. What I mean by that is we took various scenarios: what would happen if gross profits were high, what would happen if gross profits were low, how much cash that would mean the business would generate, so that no matter what the scenario, we were comfortable that the business could afford to repay the bank borrowings.
In this case, the business tends to suffer from seasonal trade. Specifically, the winter time tends to be typically the best trading period.
The seasonal conditions with our company, it changes so quickly. We get into October, November time, you might get a few frosts. You just need a sprinkling of snow and then the phone goes absolutely ballistic. You've got people saying they've run out and they want it today. You can't always do it today. You've got a customer, we've got a very, very good customer list. We've also got a lot of buyers. And with that side of it, you've just got to look after, you try to service everybody, but you've just got to make sure you look after your loyal customers.
So we needed to make sure that the cash generated from the business throughout the whole of the course of the year was going to be sufficient to meet the debt servicing requirements. And this meant that lending criteria was very strict. So from an affordability angle, there was very little wriggle room. So we needed to make sure that we could demonstrate clearly that the business was in a strong position to meet those requirements.
The initial funding that we arranged for this was a development loan. That in itself was quite a short-term funding arrangement just to enable the site to be developed. What we then needed to do was to dovetail that with other funding that would enable the business to repay the loan over a longer term. Initially, it looked as though that funding package would need to be via 5 or 6 different strands, although ultimately by working with funders we managed to put one simple loan in place that has enabled the business to just repay its debts over a very straightforward structure.
Randall and Payne have helped us with the finance side of the business, where I've been able to personally run my oil distributorship, where Randall and Payne have sorted out all the finances for me for our new build, and this has made it a lot easier for me.
Well, the company has a 100+ year trading history, and we wanted to make sure that we could secure the longevity of the company. We also knew that the company is going for growth in the future, so this depot essentially allows them to achieve that growth.